Hello and
Hi,
welcome
everyone.
to the Brickanista Broadcast Network, where we're here to fix all your brick problems. Extreme brick problems. And welcome for those of you who are new to the Brickanista Broadcast Network. I am Naomi, the Brickanista, and I'm here with Yano River Blue.
Hello.
And as some of you know, Yano and Brick Literacy, Remy Baker, had started doing review shows of LEGOMasters Season 2. And then I came over and said, hey, do you mind if I help out? And we have, Glenn Copeland is here. You rip your sleeves off. Yeah, we'll get to that. We'll get to that in a moment. But just wanted to say thank you again, Yano, for being on the show on the Brickanista Broadcast Network. And
my pleasure.
Last week, we had a seahorse and a parrot because we did the land and sea challenge. And you probably remember we held up our models and we kind of put them on the screen and we got it to the point where it was we call it a Parrot seahorseot.
Right.
Parrot seahorseot. So the Parrot seahorseot is actually in its real form. And Yano is going to demonstrate.
So here is the mashup. Got the minifigure leg, which I know, Brickanista, you said that Matthew Builds Bricks had used this technique.
Yes.
And then, now I'm blanking on their names. Lauren and Brian on LEGOMasters on their aquatic one also had seahorses with that leg.
Right.
Technique. So I was excited to have an excuse to use it, especially in such a wacky mashup.
Right. I think that when we ended up doing that on screen and the fact that our models were almost the same scale.
Yeah.
And you had mentioned too that they each had a beak and they had a tail. They were roughly 20 studs tall and 4 studs deep. And yeah, it's crazy.
It is.
And that is so adorable. Have you named your Parrot seahorseot?
I haven't. But if anyone in the chat has some name ideas.
Yeah, we'll have to say, name that Parrot seahorseot. It looks really much more colorful the way you have it too. I love the yellow that you put for the little fins on the top or the spikes. So
some
thank
frills.
You. Yes. And then we also have some exciting news.
Yeah.
That Yano has to share.
Yeah, so I'm not sure who all, I see Glenn in the chat. I'm not sure if there's anyone else watching at the moment, or maybe you're watching in the future.
They're trickling in right now.
Awesome. Well, yeah, I wanted to share some news, which I have been under contract to not talk about until today, September 1st. I'm finally legally allowed to share that I actually was hired by LEGO in July to create a video for a private event hosted by the familyequality.org, which is a virtual hub for LGBTQ+ families. So they held a virtual event at the end of July, and LEGO submitted a video, which I created for them. All the kids that were part of it got the Lego Dots designer set, as did I.
One of those.
I got this early before it was released.
Yeah.
But then I couldn't talk about it until today, and it's been out for a month.
That's right.
But it was really cool, like, especially as a queer artist, creating content for queer families was so cool to be asked to do this. And so I created, they requested a 15-minute instructional video, kind of taking some of these projects that are in this set, but then doing my own thing with them.
Yeah.
Which was really fun.
And how much does that retail for?
Since I didn't pay for it, I'm not sure. I think it's about $40.
40? Mm-hmm.
Somewhere in that vicinity. And it's got so many cool pieces. So I'm going to be showing a little bit more of my video. I've got a short clip for you today.
Yes.
And then I'm going to be sharing a little bit more of it on the Tricky Bricks show on Friday. And then it will be up on my YouTube channel on Friday as well.
Congratulations.
Thank you so
Glenn
much.
Copeland says, hooray for LEGO employment. You can say you've been hired by LEGO to help with that. And hello, Debo, and hello, Star Blue. Welcome to the stream. Yeah, so let's check out this video. And we'll just tell everybody the audio is a little bit light.
It is.
So if you do want to watch it on Friday, where you'll get the entire clip, then that'll be a great time. So you may need to turn your volume up just a little bit for this. But
yeah, it's just a 30-second clip.
Is the house that I made, and these pieces come in the Dots Designer set. So that is a great way to connect something like this. So you can see I've used it as a window frame, a door frame. Another great use of Dots tiles is a welcome mat or other flooring like kitchen tiles or a decorative carpet. I'm sure if you use your imagination, there's lots of ways you can find to use Dots pieces in anything that you like to build out of Lego.
Ta-da!
Yay! Well, that's a great accomplishment. And I was mentioning this to Yano before the stream, that the backdrop that you have there, especially with the pink and the yellow or pink and the blue flags, and your little guitar, everything is just so staged so nicely.
Thank you.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of the Dots aesthetic, and especially in all their advertisement photo shoots, they've got the like lifestyle photos, which I took a lot of inspiration from.
Yes, and Debo says, congrats, Yano, video debut. My favorite times.
Nice.
That's awesome. And great set, and the tiny house too from Star Blue.
Thanks, Star.
And the Flying V, Flying V guitar.
Yeah, Star's my sister, so that was the first ukulele I ever bought.
Oh,
in Sebastopol, California, about 12 years ago.
Wow, that's great. Well, we're very, very excited to have, just all of these things that are happening to a lot of people in Tricky Lug, is that, just the success of us helping each other out has just been wonderful. And
absolutely.
Kudos to you. And I know you must have been just like waiting for September 1st to roll around. Just, I can't wait to tell people. I need to tell people.
Yeah.
So Debo wants to know if that's a Flying V or a Flying U ukulele.
I guess it's a vukulele.
A vukulele. Thank you, Debo. We missed seeing your banter in chats. And Glenn Copeland said, yes, the set retails for $39.99. So nice. Just under $40.
Right. Yeah. And that's where I got all the little letter tiles, which I've been using, the little 1x1 round alphabet.
And Star is saying that you both look so cute today. Well, we are here for the extreme episode of LEGOMasters Season 2 Recap Reboot. And we talked about this, and so I went with the backwards cap, kind of go for painting, etc.
Totally.
Yeah, and then you jokes. Yeah, we missed you too, Debo. It's great to have you here. All right, so now what we're going to segue into is our review. So spoiler alert, if you haven't seen the episode, you may want to come back later, because we are going to give spoilers about the episode. And it was interesting. Let's just say that.
It was.
It was interesting. And I didn't know if you had, is this, I think what I have on the stream here.
No, I need to reshare.
I think they'll have to share your other one.
Here
Do I need to reboot this? Okay, there we go. That's what we want.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, so this is another one for those of us who've been watching this recap show. The way that thank you. My mom's here too.
Your mom is
so
here.
Cute.
Hello,
My mom is
Mom,
watching. Hi, thank you. And yes, again, I will be this Friday, the 3rd. I will be on the Tricky Bricks channel in the morning. I'll be showing a little bit more of the video, and then it will be live on my YouTube channel Friday evening.
Right.
However, there is an exclusive version that you had to have gone to the Family Week event to see that exclusive content, but there will be a shortened version available.
Well, we're just really proud of you that your stop motion and just your visibility in the community is getting well known in the Lego space. So congratulations.
Thank you so much. Thank
you.
And so speaking of stop motion, 3 out of 4 of the projects in this episode were animated.
Yes.
Which does mean for taking screen captures, it's a little bit trickier than usual, and some of the things that appear on screen from the animation weren't really part of the build. So we'll get through that. But this first one is the only one that was not animated because there was so much motorization. It was spinning, wings were flapping, fans were spinning. So
right. This one I absolutely loved. I just love this. Here, I'll make this full screen for everybody too. But yeah, this, and the the other thing when this was built, it made me think of that phrase, when pigs fly.
Yes.
dot dot dot. And I know that the judges weren't too happy about the face of this pig. That it was blocky, but I tell you, the motion on, with Zach and Wayne always hit it out of the park when it comes to motion.
Absolutely.
And I absolutely love this with the pinwheel spinning on top and the flapping wings, and they got 10 wings going. It's just crazy.
It really is.
All right, so Glenn, we'll get there, Glenn. Don't worry. Can't believe the outcome. I actually kind of predicted it, but we'll talk about that in a second. So, yeah, this one, to me, this was my favorite of the bunch because they reimagined it as not even a house. They reimagined it as a flying pig.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think seeing it in motion is such a different experience than seeing it in these still forms. I do feel like seeing the stationary object, it does look a little blocky, and there's not a lot compositionally going on with this build. But I felt like kind of all of them suffered from that because it's a house, which is a pretty blocky object.
Yeah. I think, too, that when you look at the entire spectrum, it shows you how they also took their own family experience and put it into the build. And they were talking about this one in Chinese culture. Pigs, represent abundance and, wealth and happiness. And so it was just interesting. And poor Debo says, the lavender feels trapped in this build. Free lavender now. Lavender. I thought about you, Debo, when they picked this house.
Yeah.
And they had that lavender in there. I go, Debo would go right for the lavender if he was in that competition.
It was good. And yeah, they had a lot of the close-ups were just of all these little minifigures. So there's clearly a lot of story going on.
Yeah.
I love the characters hanging from the wings was a fun touch.
Yeah. And I think too, this back porch shot with them just kind of enjoying the view while the pig is flying.
Right.
And that's if you don't like the area, then you can just fly anywhere you want.
Right.
I think Wayne was mentioning that too.
It's a fun premise for sure.
Yeah, it really is. And I think the storytelling with all the minifigs was a lot of fun. And we'll talk about the outcome in a little bit, Glenn, but I was really surprised about how, this team has been in the top 2 so many times, and yet they've only won one challenge. That was the first one. Yeah. But you saw some remnants of that too, because when they had the motion for the parade, when they had the dragon, on the 2 dragons going back and forth, this also kind of was reminiscent of that too.
Yeah, definitely. They have next one, sorry, back to Zach and Wayne's. Their motion skills are next level, and that was definitely a big part of the challenge, which they knocked out of the park, that aspect of it.
Yeah.
But I do kind of agree. It's a little blocky. This is, the pig butt, and they get some rounded shape. But it does kind of feel like if you're creating a house that's a pig, either go more blocky or more rounded. And it is. I do understand that critique.
So your mom says it feels very futuristic and a sweet future.
Yes.
And then Joel's here. Hey, Joel.
Hi, Joel.
And of course, you haven't seen the episode yet. So spoiler alert, Joel, spoiler alert, if you still want to stick around. And what Debo says he notices with Wayne and Zach, it never is less is more.
Right.
Yeah, they do go over the top. That's true.
Right. When they picked abundance for their theme, so that it makes sense.
Yeah.
And I did think they had some of the best integration of the nice parts usage part of the challenge of those purple feathers in the snowboards was very nice.
Yeah, the snowboards work perfectly with this build. And I know that Caleb and Jacob were envious of all the other teams for the parts that they were picking. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, so our next one, I think, is The Haunted House.
Yes, by Mark and Steven, the rock and roll haunted house.
Rock and roll haunted house.
So this was one of my favorites. This is the what won the challenge. It is one where, again, with the animation that was part of the episode, it's a little bit hard to get a sense of the actual build. So it was a little bit hard to tell. Hi, Dawn. How's it going?
Yes. Hey, Miss Lubricta. Yeah, and Debo's also mentioning to Joel, it's always better than the actual episode anyway. this show. Thank you, Debo.
Thank you.
Appreciate that. Yeah, so this one, I was thinking about Flynn and Richard when this came out, because it made me think that they would be all over this. And what was interesting is that they didn't use much black in this haunted house, because I think they had to reuse so many of the original bricks.
Right.
I was really surprised there was no black in this for the house.
Yeah, I mean, it definitely gives more of that like candy corn Halloween feeling with the green and purple and yellow.
Yeah, I was kind of surprised by that. And I think the other thing which was interesting is that they did several side interviews, because we were talking last time about when you see a side interview, it usually means they're going home. Right? But they had so many side interviews in this episode, maybe because we have fewer teams now. Yes, this roof was one of my favorite things. This chimney here. Yeah. Really love this.
And so again, like, it's a little bit hard to tell because this was animated. So it's a little bit hard to tell what they put on and what the animators put on. Right. But I did, so as most of us Lego enthusiasts know, 3 plates equal a brick, and those cups are a brick tall. And so the animators did this very clever thing of having the pipe organ chimney like go up and down by adding these little round plates in one at a time to get movement, which is something I've used a little bit in animation when I've done like floating effects. So I thought that was a cool touch, but a cool touch that it's like, I think that was mostly the animators.
Well, I'm also wondering about the lighting too, because you see how there's a shadow coming down on that green on the left. So it seems like it may have been backlit a little bit too. Right.
And that the starry background is all added in digitally. And this lighting also was in the animation, but I didn't see anything about lighting in the actual build. But this was
they
cool.
Probably needed to light it just to see it. So Debo thinks the yellow cups also ended up skewing the palette.
That's an interesting critique.
Possibly.
I feel like it just made them lean more into, like I said, it reads as like candy corn to me.
Right. Or fall pumpkin season, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah, definitely. But candy corn and the fact that they had that vignette of the conversation with the 2 brothers saying, Stephen actually has won several competitions with regard to cups. And they heard some of his builds from previous competitions. And he goes, if anybody is a cup expert, it's him. It's like, yes, that's true.
That was cute.
Yeah, that was also very endearing, seeing that brothers, kind of being proud of the other brother. And, being the little cheerleader on the side. Like, my brother could do this. He's done this so many times.
Totally. Yeah, I do like a lot of the details of it's very Lego Hidden Side with the the garage door opens and has teeth and an eye inside of it. That's something you would totally see.
That's true. And I'm sure Richard and Flynn were all over this.
Yeah.
They must have loved this. And if this were in season 1, I would have definitely thought that would have been something they would have created too.
And I think the guitar build is nice. There was like a haunted guitar in front also, but that's another way they used the cups as the head on the guitar.
And the fact that they considered this a house of rock and roll spirits who were having a party. Inviting all the ghouls, to participate.
Yes.
Yeah. And once again, the lighting here is so cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A little more fence detail.
Oh, poor Debo is upset about Hidden Side. Yes, I know. That was a good theme, but once again, the augmented reality app was just didn't cut it.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And
yeah, I love the teeth here on the.
Yeah, this was possibly my favorite detail. The eye spun around. The tentacle wiggled a little bit, but I don't think it. I don't think it was fully.
It wasn't that dramatic. Not like, you know, Wayne and Zach's. I mean, Wayne and Zach's, I mean, it like hits you like a ton of bricks, seeing the flapping wings of the pig and then the pinwheels and yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
And this, since Debo's on, that purple disc kind of reminds me of that portal from, what was it? Doctor Strange, but in a purple way instead of green.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Totally.
And Joel, you have not seen the yellow cups? What?
It's pretty classic.
What? Look at my backdrop, Joel. You see that Batman here? And the Batman is holding the yellow cups.
I do feel like I have more red cups than anything else, but I don't
red, white, and yellow, yes, and translucent, clear.
Right. All right, so that's the last one for this build. Any other thoughts on this one?
Actually, can you see if you go back to the wide shot with some of the trees? I thought, if I remember right, I think the trees, yeah, there weren't as many that I was expecting. I think more trees. Like, you know, when you see haunted houses, you always see kind of creepy trees. But,
yeah.
And that's why when I saw this, it kind of looked like a neighborhood house. Like a pumpkin festival neighborhood house. I would have thought some creepier trees would have been nice to have added to this.
That's an excellent point. Yeah.
Yeah, and not a lot of trees.
These all have leaves. Don't haunted houses have leafless trees?
Yeah, leafless
vaguely creature-like.
And the weeping willow kinds with the spikes coming down. Yeah. Oh no, here we go. Debo's going with the puns. I got goblets for days, yar. Yeah, it must be one of the hundreds of sets I haven't built as far as having and yeah, I think Debo also said portal. Yes, he agrees. The portal.
That eye. Sure, this portal.
Yeah.
All right, on to the next build.
And then we have sends Joel lime green flying pants. Okay. and Joel wants some yellow cups. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm sure there's people in Tricky Lug who have yellow cups that they can send you. Yeah. So once again, I would have wanted more haunted, stereotypical trees to be into that build.
That is fair.
Yeah.
All right. So this one was really fun, except for the motion was very lackluster.
Yeah.
If motion weren't part of this challenge, I think this would have been one of my favorites.
Yeah. Yeah. And it was interesting. They spent a lot of time on Natalie trying to figure out all of the mechanics.
Right.
So apparently Joel is like now doing parts requests.
All right.
You don't have cups, you don't have frying pans, you don't have that. Okay. And then Joel liked the popcorn here.
Yeah.
Too. Popcorn machine, I think, was one of my favorites.
It's really fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, to be honest, I didn't love any of these builds. So like
you didn't like any of them?
I liked this. I liked them. I didn't love them. None of them were like, oh my God, that's amazing.
Wow.
So this was one of my favorites. But honestly, I thought it was kind of a low bar. Again, I think a lot of it goes back to you're taking a house, even though this is very far removed from the original house. Like a house is a very blocky thing. It's hard to not make it blocky. So even if you're adding wings to it or adding popcorn inside of it, it's still a box, which is not visually very interesting.
Yeah, that's true. There wasn't a lot of shaping in this episode, except for honestly, when we get to it, the volcano was really nice.
That is an excellent point. Yeah, that one probably does.
Also the pig. I mean, as far as non-squarish kinds of shapes.
Sure.
Yeah. And then, Joel, you don't see where the popcorn is? It's on the left. It's the left building. Can you zoom in for the popcorn?
I think I've got a close-up of it.
It's right there. That's the popcorn.
Yeah,
The
it's a
popcorn
giant
machine.
popcorn popper, which is, I think, I mean, red and white is a great color scheme with the yellow. And then they got those pink Afro hair pieces, which I got one of those off of the Pick a Brick Wall or the Build a Minifigure. It made me want to go and like get 20 of them.
Well, Ms. Slobrichta also mentions that it may also have been the battery issue for Natalie because it worked in the final. Thank goodness. I mean, they built up the drama. And the popcorn did look yummy. Then the spotlights, though. Yeah, the spotlights really weren't.
Yeah.
So it is popcorn.
It is.
Yes, it is, Joel. You haven't watched the episode. Yeah, maybe you should watch the episode. Good idea.
Yeah, so it was, and this is another one that was animated. I thought it was very cutely done.
Yes.
I want to go to that party.
Yeah, I don't know if I want to be in the house when the roof is spinning, though. It's like having the chandeliers like moving above you. Yeah, I loved these. And this is something that I think I would love to get some of these hair pieces just to mimic this cotton candy thing.
Yes. Yeah, well, just as a note, this hair piece, at least in the San Francisco store, is currently in the Build a Minifigure. And if you don't know, the Build a Minifigure is 15 total parts because it's 3 minifigures with 1 accessory each. If you don't know this, I don't know if this is true of all Lego stores, but the ones that I've been to, they will let you go, can I have 15 of this one piece, or can I get 5 of this and 5 of this?
Oh, yeah.
So if you want to get a bunch of these pink hair pieces, that is a great way to do it.
That's how I got all those panda heads. I asked for every panda head they had in the Linwood store, and they gave me 11.
Nice.
So I cleaned them out from that panda build that I did for the Let's Go Camping collab. So yeah, if you want those pieces, just go and ask at your local Lego store.
This is such a fun use of the piece. Like, I guess cotton candy was not part of it to begin with, but it fits in perfectly.
It's so perfect.
I love it's like cotton candy trees that are you just pick it off, I guess.
Well, you know, since you mentioned the trees, what I thought was interesting is that Amy gave them really good feedback that she loved the pink and she loved the trees, but I wanted more. But she didn't say that with Mark and Steven's build, which could have used more trees on that.
Right.
So I thought that was interesting. Yeah.
And Joel, at least recently, yes, it was available in the San Francisco store. It has been a little while since they've been there.
Maybe it's Stone Ridge. Call ahead. Call ahead. Seriously, though, if you call ahead, then they can go in the back and look for you and then collect them and put them into the bins.
There you go. I thought these tickets were a fun build, like a giant roll of tickets.
Yeah. And I think, too, those towers, is that supposed to be like corn on the cob? What are those towers on either side, on the right and
left?
It
looks like just trees to me. They're a little lackluster for sure. Oh,
I'm thinking corn on the cob, and they have, I see, they have like those, there's another portal. Okay, Debo, they've got multiple portals now in this build.
Oh, it's Peanut. I think they said in the voiceover, it said something of like, all the popcorn peanuts and what do you call it? Candy floss. Cotton candy.
Okay.
So I think those are like peanut trees. But I also just wanted to zoom in on this. It's hard to tell. It's a little pixelated, but that's a pie with sprinkles, which was also at the San Francisco Build a Minifigure store.
Okay.
And for some reason, I haven't gotten those.
I'm thinking another Doctor Strange portal. That can go between this house and the other house. And so Glenn was saying so many teddy bears. Yes. And then multiple portals are a must.
It's true. Got to get from one to the other.
That's true. So you can go between the haunted house and the circus house. Maybe if you look at the pig, there's probably one at the pig's tail.
Right.
Well. So we've got multiple portals going on in this show.
Right. And this is another thing where the lights were in the animation, but
Yeah.
they weren't in the build.
Yeah.
and
this just shows you lighting makes such a big difference.
It does.
Yeah.
And here is the popcorn close-up.
I thought that was really clever how they
It
did
is.
the popcorn.
Yeah. And then we've got an aerial shot on this one too, which was the only one we got an aerial shot of. But that was really cool to see how it's laid out. And otherwise we wouldn't have seen that whole like tub of popcorn in the back. So it's going from the giant popper into the giant tub.
Right. And then the teddy bears took the portal from the haunted house to get over there. Could be. Get some haunted teddy bears.
Uh-huh. And you can see again, this roll of tickets is just going.
Yeah.
Anyone who's worked events knows like you do just get an endless roll of tickets.
Yeah. Or you could just go to one of those like Chuck E. Cheese places.
Right.
Yeah. Now this was very colorful. You know, the red and white is iconic.
It is.
And then the pink really worked well with that. And then the yellow is a nice highlight color. Right. Oh, hey, Lena. How's it going? Good to see you. Hello.
Hello.
Yeah. So welcome to the stream. Yeah, we're just doing our review. We still have one more to do. So we've gone through 3 of the builds, 3 out of the 4. And you said this is one of your favorites, right?
Yeah. And just like looking at it a little bit more, I do feel like it has a bit more compositionally going, like especially if you look at this shot having the like different levels and the pointed roof and the like the little balloons. Like it just, my eye travels naturally around this a little more. Yeah. And I think the red and white stripes are so smart because it really is not, it's a very simple building.
Right.
But it just pops with the contrast.
And apparently there's a Dave & Buster's in Bellevue, Washington. So Lena is also in the Seattle area.
All right.
So if you're getting, you know, hungry for some popcorn and some cotton candy and for some rides and other things, Dave & Buster's, well, Dave & Buster's doesn't have rides, but they have games.
All right.
Okay. Yeah. I understand. The Lena was just saying, she was mentioning that Dave & Buster's is a reference with the Chuck E. Cheese comment.
Gotcha.
That's true. That's true.
All right, so we've got one more build. Ooh, a barcade. Okay.
It's a barcade. Oh, have you never been to a Dave & Buster's?
I don't think they've got them here in the Bay Area.
Oh, yeah, they are lots of fun. I went to one in Arizona with my brother and his kids.
Nice.
And then also in Colorado. I'm surprised they don't have them in California.
It's possible. You have to go like pretty far out to get to a lot of chain things. There's not as many franchises.
And maybe more in like Fairfield or something.
Right.
Like that.
Totally.
Okay. And here we have the ski resort.
Yeah. So now looking at this one after those 3, this one might be my favorite, honestly.
I was just gonna say, you would prefer that over this one.
Well, the red and white just pops so much.
Yeah, that's true. It does pop. It's like this was one of my favorites. This one and the flying pig.
The red and white is like cotton candy, where you know, like it's delicious, but then it's gone. This one's staying with me, I think.
Yeah. Well, here we go. Joel says that there is a Dave & Buster's in Milpitas, so not too far from you. So yeah, if you really want to go in the middle of COVID,
right,
with lots of unvaccinated kids, that's the place for you.
Just getting their hands all over the arcades. Perfect.
There's LA has one too. Yeah.
I worked on Pier 39 for a very large portion of my career. And there is a barcade there called Players.
Oh, okay.
And so like when I knew the people, they would give me a handful of quarters, which was fun.
This one is Debo's favorite. And I like this one and the pig. Those were my 2 favorites. And then the mountain town look. And I just thought it was so ludicrous to have a volcano in the middle of a ski resort with the snakes flying out of it. But it was so clever. It was just so clever. Yeah.
I agree. I do feel like there's a little bit of a disconnect. And for anyone like Joel who hasn't watched the episode, it was one of those like surprise challenge editions where they bring out a like crate of some random object that you have to integrate in. And so Caleb and Jacob got snakes.
Yep.
And they did a great job integrating them.
I agree, definitely. And then the chat is talking about, apparently they really want you, Yano, to go to the Great Mall in Milpitas, because then you go to the Legoland Discovery Center and then hit the Dave & Buster's as well.
Oh,
and
well, okay.
We are not sponsored by either one of them. We would love to be sponsored by either one of you.
Call us.
This one does have a great look, right?
So
exactly.
It did have unfortunately the ski lift was pretty lackluster movement, but this greenhouse actually moved up and down almost like it was an earthquake from the volcano. So there was a little more motion than the ski.
Hi, Zach Martinez. Welcome to the stream.
Welcome.
Yeah, we're talking about the last build of this, and the animation on this was so fun because they also had the snowflakes coming down and the skiers coming through, and the other kind of small vignette was the interview with the twins about how they grew up in Minnesota, and how they had all kinds of snow all the time. It was a big part of their growing up, and so it was just so great that I think all the builds had some portion of their personal life that was brought in. Yeah. And Ms. Lobricta did say they didn't highlight all the movement in this build, at least types of the movement. Yeah. I think it also goes back to, what is it that they're trying to evoke in everybody as far as the emotion. And in the case of Caleb and Jacob, they wanted the emotion of the terror of getting snakes and what do you have to do with these. So they spent so much time on that. Yeah. It was an intimate, cohesive, and fun. And there were 4 types of different kinds of motion.
Right. Yeah. So I'm noticing in this image, because this is the studio shot, this is not the animation shot, and there's headlights that are lit up, which I didn't notice until right now.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
And not only that, but this garage door is open, which in our first establishing shot, oh, nope,
I think it is open there too.
There's right here. Oh, okay. So this is the animation where it's closed. So maybe it was open. I was wondering if the garage door had some kind of opening mechanism, but it looks like they did make the headlights light up, which is very cool.
So Glenn, you didn't see the episode, but essentially each of the teams had to pick a small crate which said NPU for nice parts usage, and they picked red snakes. And so they had to incorporate the red snakes into their build.
And that might be the only thing that's an Indiana Jones like about Caleb and Jacob is being afraid of snakes.
And the old farm building in an old red barn with a metal roof and mismatched shades of red paint applied over the years. You did see the episode? So why did it have to be snakes? Well, that goes
Indiana
back to
Jones.
Yeah. Oh, that was a quote. I see. Okay. Well, that's just like stream of consciousness thinking. He may be thinking Indiana Jones, but we're not thinking Indiana Jones. So it's kind of like, just make the leap from this one comment that I put in there. It had to be snakes. Yeah.
This shot shows a lot of interesting details. Like these snakes popping out of the tree really give the sense of the lava like flying. And we've got someone like trying to put it out with water right here, it looks like.
I didn't see that. Oh, how funny.
And then
the look of terror on that one big face too. Oh, and look at is that a paramedic or is that a skier on the right? Oh, okay, it's a skier. I thought there was a paramedic, bring somebody down this. Okay.
Oh yeah, like holding a stretcher.
Yeah.
Like it could be that. That would be a good touch.
That would have been good.
And then this is hilarious. There's a chef like boiling water on the lava.
I did not notice that. Oh, how funny. That is hysterical.
So this is why these recap episodes are great. I even took these screen captures and I'm noticing new things. There's way more details than you see at the rate that it goes by you. So
Debo says, I don't know if one can bestow the title of NPU in their own build. Maybe not.
Yeah, that's fair.
You could say, I have done nice parts usage here. Please verify that is true.
Right. And so speaking of, this is really interesting. I do feel like up close, these snakes as roof treatments lose a little bit of their charm, but it reads really well from far away.
Oh yeah, from a distance, you would have never known they were snakes.
Right.
And to have to place them on the roof meticulously like that, taken forever.
For sure.
I can't even imagine. It's like mosaic work, you know, where you're putting them tile by tile by tile.
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, no, that was really, very well done to have the treatment on the roofs and the volcano. And they had to build the volcano, and they made it so that it would bust out, which I was hoping that would have been in the animation too. We didn't see the bust out of the side of the mountain that they had designed in there too.
Yeah. Nice.
Okay, I know this quote. I know this quote, Glenn. So, yeah, snakes on the MFing roof as well. Naomi, you could be there all day putting the snakes on the roof. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, exactly. That was kind of my point, is that I don't know. That would have been like, okay, who's going to do this? Who's going to be in charge of putting all those snakes on there?
Yeah.
But I just thought this was hilarious. Just the fact that, and they even kind of made comment about, why would they build a ski chalet right next to an active volcano?
Right.
You know, maybe they just love the decor. Who knows?
I really appreciated the voiceover in this episode too. They were pitching it like it was a travel destination, and it was like the line that stood out to me was, have a cup of hot java and ignore the lava.
Exactly. And Debo said the snakes are all rattlers. As you know, it's loud in them there hills. And it was cheap real estate, which is why they built it.
Yeah, that's. And
they even said in their description, ignore the flaming volcano in the background and concentrate on the skis that are moving, mesmerizing you as they twirl. Ski runs are on mountains and volcanoes are mountains. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
I mean, if we really wanted to be picky, we would put snow on the volcano too. That would have been maybe one suggestion to elevate it a little bit, because if you also think if this is a ski chalet, you would have more snow on the roofs too.
Yeah.
And there wasn't a lot of snow on the roofs.
Right. That's an excellent point.
Yeah.
I'm noticing in this shot, there's these like trans blue. I almost wonder if this is meant to be snow that has melted. And that's where the chef is boiling water up here. So that might be a detail that they started to go with, of like there was snow and the lava was melted and they ran out of time, and or it just wasn't explained in this episode.
And Lena is saying here, the fact that an active volcano can support snow makes this a must-see destination.
Yes.
Yeah, I would have wanted more snow. Like I said,
sure.
A typical winter village scene with any of the sets that Lego has, you have so much on the roofs.
Yeah, of course.
The snow, and they and maybe because of the snakes, they couldn't do that.
Right.
But they could have put them on the trees or, other places on the tops. Yeah. So that would be one thing I would suggest, is add a little more snow.
Yeah. I'm noticing they do have some nice little icicles and like details on the trees. Still not as many as they could, but that's some nice details.
And I misquoted the must-see destination. That was actually from Debo.
Okay.
So Yeah, I mean, I'm not a skier, but I think that would be kind of fascinating to see a ski lodge built next to a volcano.
Right.
Now the
It
other
sounds very extreme.
Extreme. There, let me get my wrench. Extreme. Yeah, the ski lift, which was an interesting comment, is that they built a ski lift and it was motorized, but there were no skiers on it.
Right. Yeah.
And not even little bars with little chairs on it.
Yeah.
And they just didn't have time. I think that was part of it.
Right.
Yep. So I don't know. This okay, so here's the big reveal, folks. Now that you've seen all 4 of these, we know who won, because we mentioned that early in the stream. I know this was before you showed up, Joel. Each building has a different roof treatment. So good.
Yeah. I do like it.
It was a lot of really good details in this. Yeah, but I would say that, you know, as we look through all of these, they are, I mean, with the exception of the pig, they all look like houses.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why I personally think the pig should have won out, because they really thought out of the box. I mean, a flying pig, really? You know, but they didn't win. They did not win. It went to Mark and Steven with the haunted house.
Right.
Me was kind of like, okay. It kind of goes back to what Ms. Slobricto was saying at last week's episode. It's like, who knows how the judging works, you know, in particular season. It seemed to make more sense last season than this season. But I don't know, the haunted house was good, but it didn't strike me as like over the top, you know, or extreme.
Right.
It wasn't as extreme as some of the others.
Yeah, I think the concept was so strong, and then it didn't quite live up to the concept either. Like, other than there being speakers on the roof and Dracula having a guitar, there wasn't a lot of rock and roll in it. It did feel like
the whole rock and roll theme was kind of fell to the wayside too.
Right.
So Lena's saying that Snake has to infiltrate the Shadow Moses facility and stop the foxhound. Okay. That is a little out there. You have to ask Mark and Steven how it feels to use the golden brick and then to take first.
Right. Totally.
Yeah, that was something else we forgot to mention, is that in this episode, they didn't even think that their build was strong enough to take first place.
That is
so
true.
they exercised the golden brick because they didn't want to sacrifice being in the bottom 2. And yet they exercised it. It's like, guess who won? It's like, we won.
Right.
Yeah, so they're probably kicking themselves as well.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so the big spoiler reveal is that no one went home.
Nobody went home, but we kind of predicted that, because remember we were talking about they want to keep Natalie and Michelle in for the demographics. And then if you calculate out, you have, you know, today's episode 10, and then 11 and 12. If they eliminated a team for every challenge, then they would have only 2 teams left for the finale. And last year they had 3 teams for the finale. So one of these was going to be nobody's going home. And we didn't actually say that last week, but we did mention about Natalie and Michelle would not be going home. And we did predict that, even though they were in the bottom 3.
Which is almost everyone.
Yeah. And then Ms. Slobricta says they had to use it by this episode or lose it. Okay. Okay. That I did not know. Okay. A niche video game reference with a character other than Snake Plissken. Oh, okay. Okay.
I do love Escape from New York. I get the Snake Plissken reference at least.
Right. Okay, so Debo is now a member of the Patriots. Debo has a lot of really good knowledge of pop culture. I will say that. Anime, pop culture, architecture. The guy is a freaking encyclopedia. Because He's extreme. He's extreme. And I have to hold up the wrench because it just makes it sound better, right?
Yes.
So, right. So we have, based on this, we should probably make some predictions for next week. With everything that's happened and how the finale will be.
Right.
I'm still predicting Natalie and Michelle are going to stay in the top 3.
Yeah.
Because of what I said a couple weeks ago, that even though they're built, they've been at the bottom so many times, and yet it's like, oh, we're going to keep them. We're going to keep them. And it goes back to what Joel has said about they make for good television.
Yes.
So they're not going to get rid of them. And then pop culture, non-culture, all of it. Okay.
And all the puns, obviously.
Yes.
Too.
You can't use the golden brick and get into the finale. Oh, I see. All right. So what other predictions do we have? Someone's prediction number 1, someone goes home. I think it's going to be the twins.
Yeah.
I think the twins are going to go home because they've already kind of positioned Steven and Mark to be, well, we beat Tyler in another competition. They're going to keep Zach and Wayne to keep the diversity, and they're going to keep Natalie and Michelle. So I'm saying it. I'm calling it. The twins are going home next week.
That would be my guess as well.
Okay. Let's see if we're right next week. Because next week will be episode 13, episode 11.
Right.
And then it'll be the second to the last episode that we'll be doing, broadcasting as part of this recap reboot.
Right.
And as you can tell, we've been trying to embrace the theme. So that's why I put on this hat. And I grabbed the wrench for the do-it-yourself. And did they mention what next week's episode was?
Oh,
I don't remember.
I don't remember either. Anyone in the chat remember?
I need to put my controller in the second controller because I can't move because of this. Okay, I have no idea what you're talking about. Telekinetic powers.
I'm definitely not
I think
a
the
gamer
chat is like going
either.
way off there. Okay. Yeah,
those
so
darn
Devo,
psycho mantises.
yeah, I think Glenn, you're right. Someone goes home. Does anybody think somebody else is going home in the chat? Because both Yano and I think it's going to be the twins. That we think the twins are going to go home. Predictions. Maybe we should have like a little raffle,
right?
or some sort of.
Do you want to say who you think might win at this point?
Maybe. I don't know. Are you ready to do that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because I feel like Zach and Wayne are gonna win it.
Really?
Yeah.
Maybe. I don't know. Well, I think we agree Natalie and Michelle will not win.
Yeah.
I think we agree with that, but they'll make it in the top 3.
Yes. Yeah. I just feel like because you were talking about Zach and Wayne kind of not getting their due when they're usually in the top but don't actually win the challenge. And I feel like that sells them a little bit as underdogs when obviously they're super talented builders.
So Lena says Doc is going home. Doc isn't even here.
Could be.
He might be going home. Of course, Miss Lobrickton knows but she can't say, we know. But I think, based on what we've observed and the way Hollywood and, the network Fox works.
Right.
I don't know. I'm kind of hoping it will be Wayne and Zach, but the network hasn't given me that kind of feeling. I think it might be, Mark and Steven.
Yeah.
Because, just the way they're playing them up is they're the ones who beat, Tyler last time. And, they might have, season 1 versus season 2, build off. I mean, who knows?
Right.
All right.
And
Doc
honestly,
work for the day.
I really thought that, Richard and what was the team? Richard and what's the other one's name? They when they just went home.
Dave and Richard.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I thought they were gonna win. That they were kind of my prediction until suddenly it was just like, nope, bye.
Right. Well, Debo thinks Wayne and Zach are going home next week, and you'll clean up the betting portion. I don't think they will. I don't think they would send Zach and Wayne home because if you think about it, we already know they're going to keep Natalie and Michelle just for the demographics, right? Because they can't have just like 3 teams of guys in the final. And then between the 3 guy teams, the only one that makes sense based on what's kind of happened, because don't forget, Caleb and Jacob also had that car that they went over the edge, right? When they won the challenge, but then they drove it off the edge. The next episode is Cliffhanger Castle Building. That's right. It's a castle.
Yes, thank you.
That's right.
Thank you, Tom.
Build the cliff, and yeah, that might be interesting. I'm not big into castle. Are you big into castle?
No.
Yeah. Okay, so let's see. Lena says, I bet Wayne and Zach to match Debo's bet. Okay. So Debo says Wayne and Zach are going to go home. Lena, do you expect the twins to go home or Steven and Mark? I don't think it'll be Natalie and Michelle.
Oh, and Glenn is bringing up an interesting counter opinion.
I decline to believe that the game is rigged.
That's fair.
Is it really a game or not?
I mean, I don't think we are exactly saying that it's rigged, but there's more factors in reality TV than the competition aspect.
Yeah.
And a big part of it is the audience and the entertainment value. So I think those things do come into play with who is eliminated when.
I think they're going to have to keep Wayne and Zach to have the people of color represented.
Right.
Because with, Anisha and Randall going home, I mean, there aren't very many people of color represented now at the end. So I think to kind of keep the people of color happy and to keep the women happy, those 2 teams are going to make it to the final. And it's going to be between the twins and Mark and Steven. And they keep promoting Mark and Steven as like the heir apparents. So, yeah, I'm going to say the twins. I'm calling it. The twins are gone, even though those twins are hilarious.
They are.
And the banter they have also with Will when they did the sleeve ripping.
They're really cute. I think
they just do not have the physique of a lumberjack, right?
Right. Caleb is the smaller one, I think, right? Is that? I'm notoriously don't know which one is which.
Caleb, I believe, is the thinner one who's shorter. I Miss Loberto can tell us.
I believe that's right. And I just have to say, like, Caleb has totally grown on me over this. Like, I feel like Jacob's a little more reserved.
Yeah.
And Caleb is a little more like, no, I'm just like a super nerdy dude, and I'm just gonna be like loudly goofy, and it's he's really grown on me. So
and Miss Alberta, of course, is working on her build today.
Nice.
And I think it seems like people kind of do think that it's maybe a little bit rigged about, and Caleb has the bigger hair. Oh. And Caleb does more of the talking. That is true.
Yes.
And Caleb is the one who had this separation anxiety last week when they split them apart. And Jacob said, "No, I'm fine. I don't need to be there. I'm good."
That was a cute moment.
Yeah. So now the chat is like taking bets. All right. Well, I do think we do have some announcements that we also wanted to make. So let me go ahead and share my window here because we have a couple important dates in the month of September. So for those of you who are interested, and let me get this into the studio. There we go. It's in the studio. We have some in September. We have a couple things that are happening. So as you know, next week, we were just talking about this. Next week will be our recap of episode 11. So that's why we're doing our predictions right now. And so now I have to show these in the chat, which is hilarious. Yeah, if he's separated again, Caleb is going home. Twins for the win. Oh, you think they're going to win the whole thing? I don't think so.
I would be surprised, but
I don't think the twins are going to win the whole thing. I would be extremely surprised if that happened. No, I don't think so. Okay, so important dates to remember. September 8th, we're going to have our second to the last episode of this recap series. And I guess since it's Castle, I guess we're going to have to dress in medieval wear. So you probably noticed we've been embracing kind of, dressing for the stream. So we'll be doing that. And then September 1st through the 13th, I am sponsoring a bunker challenge called Bonkers for Bunkers. And I think I just posted right before the stream on Instagram some of the parameters of this. So you do need to look at the tinyurl.com/brickbunkers, and then you'll see the standard. So, Aubrey's here.
Hi,
hey,
Aubrey.
How's it going, Aubrey?
Yeah, you just missed the recap. We're into the announcement part of the episode.
Yeah, we're announcing these, but that's okay. You can go back and watch the replay.
We had fun.
Yes, we did. Yeah, and we have a castle episode, and want to send congratulations to Aubrey because she brought back a castle. She brought a castle build to Brick Slopes, and she got an award for, I think, best first mock that she had displayed at Brick Slopes. So congratulations. Yes. Really appreciate that you are representing Tricky Leg over there. And we are doing a bunker challenge. So this is a big bunker challenge. Originally, it was going to be called the Brickanista bunker build-off. But then one of the members in the chat said, she's bonkers for bunkers. I said, that's awesome. So Rick Brickham came up with that. And so we'll be doing the bunker build-off from September 1st through the 13th. And then we will be announcing the winners on September 14th on my Twitch channel, because it'll be my Twitch streamiversary. Yay. And the Twitch streamiversary, I'm going to be broadcasting pretty much from 9 to 5 that day on Pacific time.
What a way to make a living.
Yeah, the very last hour, we're going to do the bunker build-off winner. And I haven't announced the prizes yet because I've been doing some research. They're going to be really unusual prizes, like those freeze-dried food packs that you can get. I went to REI yesterday and did some research, but I will announce what the prizes are soon. Okay, then September 15th, so 13th, 14th, 15th, just remember those dates. 13th is when you got to get your build in. 14th, we're going to announce the winners. And then the 15th is going to be our last recap episode. So it'll be season. Yeah, we are going to be dressed to the nines for this. And we've been doing a lot of work here preparing for these shows. And I just wanted to thank Yano again, because this has been a lot of fun.
Yes, indeed.
Yeah. And then, we were talking about fallout shelters, etc. So the bunker challenge essentially is that you build a small on a 16 by 16 and 13 bricks tall. And then these bunkers, when they're built, can be connected to each other, so that you're essentially taking part in a future collab. So this is kind of the method to my madness here. Okay, so after the 15th, after we do our last episode, then what we'll be doing is we will be having our Talk Like a Pirate Day episode. And Yano has an announcement with regard to the We Are Family challenge.
Yeah, well, just what the things you see on screen, these are all on Brickanista, Twitch, and YouTube. And for the 19th, I will be joining you on Twitch, right? On the 19th?
Yeah, the 19th they'll be on YouTube at 1 o'clock, my regular Sunday episode. Right. This is the first time I've announced a challenge on Twitch, only because it's my anniversary on Twitch.
So yes, September 19th is an international holiday, Talk Like a Pirate Day, which I have been celebrating for the last 15 years or so. Mm-hmm. So in addition to being on Brickanista's YouTube channel at 1, I will be joining the Tricky Bricks cast. That's a Sunday at 10 a.m. Pacific time. And so the We Are Family challenge, it's a celebration of all things pirates. To me, pirates have a lot to do with like community and acceptance and egalitarian communities before that was a thing. You know, in a time of monarchies, it was like everyone got an equal vote in these little democratic societies. There were a lot of fierce women pirates. In so many of the pirates that we see represented in TV and stuff are white, when the reality is that they were ethnically really diverse too. It's estimated that as many of a third of pirates in the European golden age of piracy were actually Black escaped slaves, who again, like, got an equal vote, an equal share of booty. So to me, that's why I love pirates. Is
we all want an equal share of booty, don't
right?
we?
Right. Cheers to that. So you are free to interpret the We Are Family challenge however you want. To me, We Are Family means like community, which ties in with the Lego community as well. So so yes, you can join me on the 19th on Brickanista's channel at 1, on the Tricky Bricks channel at 10. And then if you are competing in this challenge, there's 2 different ways to enter. So just post any pirate stuff between now and Sunday the 19th. Hashtag We Are Family with 3 R's. Tag Femme from the Block. And I will be sharing them in my stories. I will be creating some Lego mock trophies, which I haven't quite decided if it'll be a random drawing or if there will be different categories. But this Friday, I will actually be joining the Tricky Bricks live stream as well. And so I will be talking a little bit more about the challenge, and we are tying it in with the Tricky Bricks build challenge. So
we're still waiting for the details from Tricky Bricks, so that's why it wasn't on the list.
I did talk to Flynn a little bit, and it sounds like if you want your pirate build to be in a Sunday Talk Like a Pirate Day slideshow, it will be need to be turned in the Friday before, which is the 17th. But again, tune in this Friday to the Tricky Bricks channel for final details.
All details will be forthcoming. That's why we didn't put it on the list, because we weren't sure of the dates. But do remember the 19th is going to be a big day. And, you know, I'm into pirates. Yano's into pirates. So start practicing your pirate speeches. You bilge rats. Get off of the plank, you bilge rats. Exactly. Well, once again, if you haven't seen it, let me go ahead and share this again. Let's see if we can get this going. These are the dates: September 8th, September 1st through the 13th. The 14th will be my stream anniversary, which is actually going to be from 9 to 5, but we're going to announce the winners at 4:30. September 15th is the LEGOMasters season finale. And then we also have September 19th, which is going to be the huge Talk Like a Pirate Day, starting with Tricky Bricks in the morning, and then with also Yano and me talking about pirate stuff on the 19th on 1 o'clock. And I also have Captain Morgan coming, Dave Morgan, with his parrots, real parrots. He's got a couple parrots. Yeah. Oh, actually, let's show them that, because this was at the very beginning. Is we did the mashup of the parrot and the seahorse. So this is the Parrot-seahorse-sot. Parrot-seahorse-sot.
Yes, and please, in the chat, if you can think of a name for this creature, please let us know. I think Polly is too obvious.
No, it's not going to be Polly. Polly's for parrots, not for a Parrot-seahorse-sot.
Exactly.
Yeah. And apparently there's a big pirate event going on in Milpitas at the Lego Discovery Center. That sounds great. Yeah. So thank you again, Yano. This was great. Great fun for this extreme episode. And next week, I guess we'll be dressed in maybe medieval garb for the castle, possibly.
I've got some plans.
Okay.
And I like to follow my own theme, I'll be honest.
It's the Parrot of the Sea. And yes, Aubrey loves the mashup too. Yeah. It's a Cerperos. Okay. Like I said, we came up with Parrot-seahorse-sot.
Any way you say it, it's hard to say.
It's still hard to say. Exactly. Well, once again, thank you everyone for all your support as we put together these little recaps, and we'll have another one of these recaps next week. And then that'll be the first of our September events. So lots of cool things happening. And stay tuned on both my Discord server and the Tricky Lugs Discord server, because a lot of this will be posted there.
Right.
We're still getting names here.
Uh-huh.
The Parrot, the seahorse, the Parrot of the Sea. Yeah, like I said, we'll have to see what we come up with. Maybe we'll have
mare like horse. Marot.
Yeah, a Marot.
Ah,
Yeah, that could
course
be.
we
But
will.
you have to say sea in there. There's no Marot is all land because that's the
Oh, that's
parrot
true.
and the mare. So you need to put some sea creature
sea
in there
Marot?
too. The sea Marot. That might work actually. Okay, later. See you, Joel, and thank you,
Bye, Joel.
everyone. Thank you for tuning in to the Brickanista Broadcast Network, and thank you again, Yano. It's been a pleasure working with you. It's been a lot of fun. And you want to talk about your face print really quick before we go off the air? Yeah.
I glued Lego dots to my face, and I think all of them are still on my face, which I'm very impressed by. I just used eyelash glue. I'll post some pictures.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I wanted to tie in. Like I said, I always have my own theme. So also, Aubrey missed this news. Here at the beginning, I am an officially sponsored by Lego artist. I created a video for this set for a private event, which today is the day my contract is up and I can legally talk about it.
Yay!
So wanted to bring the dots in.
Yes, and the dots I had mentioned, there was a commercial about Skittles where they had Skittle pox that was on your face, and that's what that kind of reminds me of.
Well, thank you. I get that all the time.
Okay, my friends, take care, everybody. As they say on the Brickanista Broadcast Network. Also, before I close, I should say like, subscribe to the stream. It really helps me out with growing this channel. If you know of people too, I'm at 178 followers here on YouTube, 350 on Twitch. So anything you can do to help grow this community would be fantastic. So once again, thanks everybody, and may the clutch be with you. Take care.
Bye for now.
Bye. See you next week.